AYUC2019.
Welcome back to the Australian Youth Ultimate Championships. We're here at the final game of the tournament, the men's division final between Victoria and New South Wales. I'm your commentator, Rob Swan, and I'm joined here in the booth by Emma Beresford. How are you doing this afternoon, Emma?
Absolutely loving watching this quality junior ultimate. It's been a really fun time. Everyone's getting around it, having all of the teams staying at the field as well, getting them involved on the sideline, really building that juniors community.
Absolutely. It's been incredible to watch. This New South Wales team has burned their way through the division. They're undefeated so far. They're star-studded lineup, and they've just been unassailable so far. Victoria have been the next best team. They've only lost to New South Wales, and they're very, very strong. The New South Wales Emus versus the Victorian Bandicoots. Classic Australian native animal theme. Really looking to see the Bandicoots, who have had a few significant injuries to some of their most senior, most impactful players. Looks like they're trotting out their strongest possible line. Everybody's there.
I think both of these teams will come out really wanting it, really firing. Saw both captains and coaches taking their teams through some mental strength, some focusing in. You can see them getting hyped.
Yeah, looks like they're coming hot. So a lot of representative players around here, a lot of strength. Angus Wicks with the disc right now. He's a previous representative for the Australian under-20 boys team. Few of those dotted around amongst the coaching staff and amongst the players. Coming in with a pull here. And New South Wales coming down on offense.
Nice, huge run down there by Victoria. Great pressure.
Wesley Justice with the pull. Lucien Noel with a fresh haircut and the disc. Oh, and that's an early turnover for New South Wales. There's an uncharacteristic error, yielding a short field chance to Victoria. Wicks as we walk into the disc here. He's a strong thrower, and if he can maintain discipline out here, Victoria could be in with a break straight off the bat. Jimmy Vu shakes and bakes, gets open on the cone, and that is a 1-0 lead for Victoria, broken out of the gates, and they are feeling it.
It's exactly what Victoria wanted coming into this game. It was a huge point for them, already building that pressure on New South Wales.
Yeah, incredible to see. They just executed so well, finishing so strong. They've done what has looked really, really hard. New South Wales with that handling combination of Noel and Justice in the back there, really just not looking troubled against a lot of other defenses there. So Victoria coming down, you could see they were getting hyped. You see, this is exactly the place that they wanted to be. So they've really rewarded, and New South Wales are really needing to respond here. They've really got to show that they can hold their offense. They haven't seemed troubled so far throughout the tournament.
But that being said, it'll then be interesting to see how they respond if they are actually down. They haven't really played a game where a team has put them in a position where they've had to claw it back, had to fight for it a bit more.
Absolutely, and that could be the key to Victoria's upsetting in New South Wales here. The Victoria come through some hard at the start, getting a few points, putting New South Wales under pressure like they haven't seen. Justice with a disc. Doesn't have many options right now. Nice and patient. Goes up the line. Finds Donahue. Donahue on the sideline. Finds Noel, and that's another drop. Noel, one of the stalwarts of this New South Wales team, will be running a lot of offense through here, but that's 2 errors from him. As Wicks strolling like he's half asleep, taking a day and a half to get to the disc. But again, in shooting range of the end zone here. Wicks, no options. Pivoting. Looking for Burchett in the dump space, and that's a miscue. And that's great ceiling defense. Richards able to prevent Burchett from taking a bid there. And New South Wales are out of trouble for a second here. Noel and Honey moving the disc down the sideline. Noel goes wide.
Fantastic swing there.
Miller with the disc. Miller comes back to Noel. Piloting this offense. Noel. Donahue leapt in the air, had that for days, but looked away for a second.
All you need is that break in concentration.
Wicks shoots early. Miller's in the area. French behind him, and Miller gets up early. There's a lot of contact there.
Absolutely huge block.
Yeah. Wicks looking for French. French, one of the biggest boys out on the field here, but Miller with the positioning and athleticism going up early. Noel gets a disc. He's got Donahue going long. Shoots extra late. It's in the air. It's Donahue on Wicks. Oh, Donahue goes up early. Wicks comes away with the block, though. This is already an incredibly intense game. We've seen big shots, big athleticism, and I think it will be the biggest matchups that will define this game. Wicks, Donahue, Noel, Burchett, some of the stars in this game. They've been really tearing apart the division, and they're coming head-to-head here. Burchett on the under from Wicks. It's well guarded, hasn't got a lot of options here. Late in the count, Wicks up the line. Burchett feeds him, Donahue bidding. And there's a pick call in the stack.
Absolutely incredible bid there by Donahue. Way to get it off the feet. Incredible reaction time. Those reflexes are firing.
Yeah, they've really put one of the best defenders on one of the best Victorian players, and Wicks is, to his credit, able to secure the disc up the line there.
But also able to tow it with him. He got that D in the end zone. Really stopped New South Wales from continuing their role.
Absolutely. This will be one to watch. This will be one to watch. There's Burchett. Oh, shakes and bakes up the line. Elects not to shoot. Takes his time here. Finds Armstrong on the under. Armstrong on this close line here. Looking into the centre of the field. Burchett goes up the line. Manages to get free. Victoria still stuck in this line, and Burchett with a big hammer over the top. And Noel can't get the break there. Unbelievable. Higgins takes the grab. Noel can't get the block, and Victoria
absolutely huge from Victoria.
Stamping their authority on this game early. 2 unanswered points. New South Wales looking rattled. They haven't been able to set into a rhythm. Their offense hasn't looked smooth, and some of their best players have really been pushed out of their comfort zone. Victoria really come to play today.
Really interesting by the New South Wales coaches. I mean, conceding 2 breaks in a row, still haven't elected to take a timeout, continuing on with this play.
There's a few personnel changes on their traditional offensive line. The New South Wales coaches, led by Liam Varley, assisted by Edmund Feng and Richard Trang. They're putting out their offensive line here with a few different changes, give a few people some rest.
But still, those key players for New South Wales, Donahue, Noel, Honey, still on the line.
They've brought Mamantel across. He's normally their key handler from the defensive line, and they've brought him over the offensive line for a bit of power, as Victoria have given them a bit of a gift of a bricked pool here. And Honey will bring that disc up to the front.
Interesting to see match defense. Quite a lot of the rest of the tournament has been predominantly zone. See how New South Wales respond.
New South Wales on the sideline here. Donahue and Noel working for the disc. Noel with the disc in the center of the field. Hasn't got a lot of options here. Miller open on this close sideline. Diving grab again. New South Wales working for everyone. Matt Mitchell in the far corner, and it's a bit far for him. Oh, and he's taken a great grab through that one, but it just come out of his hands as he's hit the ground. So New South Wales are really being pushed to their limits. They're really working through athleticism. Victoria, full credit to him. Puts a squeeze straight away. Burchett with the disc. Burchett launches That one's arcing. It's tailing. Noel is in the space underneath this. Challenged by Vu, and Noel with the grab. Finds Honey. Honey, calm as you like. Donahue. Donahue, calm with the disc, shoots long. He's got a man in the area. And that's Caleb with the goal there. New South Wales respond. That's what they love to hear. Noel with a huge defensive grab there. And then running the offense up, Donahue. Amazing defender. Does a lot in the reception end. Showing his throwing prowess there to put that one out in front.
Victoria still not taking their foot off the pedal though. We had incredible feats of athleticism. Burchett came through, streaming through for that layout block. Didn't quite get hands to it, but they're showing that they're still just as hungry.
Absolutely. Amazing pace by Edison Wong to bring that goal in just in front of his player. Earning New South Wales a chance to trot out their defensive line here. So we'll see what impact they can make and what sort of strategies they come to. You can see the Victorian coaching staff of Tipman Wong, James Walker. Got the mics in the ears, communicating. Got the walkies going on, acting as close to a hive mind as possible. And this powerful Victorian offensive line. Moss with the pull here, and that is a ripper. He's dying just at the front of the end zone and is fielded by Wicks, although he's let her roll him around him.
Gregory on the mark.
Wicks with the disc, elects not to shoot. Matt double cover on the under, back to Vu, back to Wicks in the center here. Victoria on the run, New South Wales stabilise the defence. Vu with the disc on his close sideline here, fakes the big. Calls for Wicks, doesn't want to have it for too long. Bit of stationary here. Victoria with the disc. Forsyth. Ever reliable cutter for them. It's seen Wicks go up the line, and Wicks unable to take the grab. Just a lot going on in a tiny little space there. He's hurting. Wicks has been dealing with an ankle injury this tournament, so he's pushing it for this final game. See whether or not it impacts him. Mamantil with a disc.
Gregory. Up the line to Moss. Moss
with
pointing.
Faked out the booth. Fun Sadiq in the centre. Jeffrey throws the goal. And that's New South Wales. Jordan to Jordan. They've levelled the score here. It's impressive. It's a good response from them. This is already one of the most intense games of this tournament. You could see that both teams know what this means. They are hungry for that gold medal. Victoria rocking New South Wales out the gate, taking a 2-0 lead. That's what they need to do to win this game. They can't let New South Wales feel like they're comfortable. Can't let them feel like they know what's going on, because what New South Wales knows is winning. So Victoria, we've done a great job of upsetting the status quo so far.
I think key for both of these teams will just be who can keep up that level of intensity the longest. They're absolutely busting their guts out there, putting their bodies on the line. After 2 days of a tournament, coming into this grand final day, see who can cut it, whose body can hold up to the pressure.
Absolutely, and one of the things that we might see in this division, and will really separate the better players, is the discipline. To be able to work with that intensity and that push, but still keep the focus and keep that decision making on point.
Big pull from Moss.
And that's a beauty. Armstrong to Burchett in the centre here. He's got French going long, elects not to take it, looks for Vu on the under, guarded by Noel. In and out of the hands of Burchett in the dump space. Noel picks up for the quick go. Wants the break. Goes back to Moss. Moss, a capable handler, puts it out in front of Noel. Noel looks to the break side, bounces that one. And he's found his man just on the front of the end zone there. They've popped it to Donahue, who's got his long arms and long toes, and he's put that one in. New South Wales quickly responding. breaking to take the lead 3-2.
An expected response from New South Wales. They're a really disciplined team. They've shown a lot of maturity in this tournament so far. Haven't been rattled too much. Nothing the other teams have kind of put on them has really shaken them up. So I think we'll see a strong game from them, but Victoria giving them a battle on their hands. They're going to have to work hard for every single point.
Yeah, absolutely. Victoria can't let themselves feel defeated by this. They've conceded 3 points in a row now, but they really need to keep that intensity and that belief that they came into the game with. It's all too easy for them to think, oh, here we go again. This is just going to be another one of the games. We felt good, but that was just a trap. They're the better team. They can't be in that headset. They can't be feeling that. They have to keep up that intensity they brought to the start of the game. Know that they can take those shots. Know that they can go toe-to-toe with the Stars of New South Wales. Because if they don't believe it, it's definitely not going to happen.
I think it's crucial for especially this junior division. They can't get in their heads. Mental strength isn't something that's commonly taught in other sports, and if they're new to Frisbee, it's a difficult skill to acquire.
Yeah, it's something that's been coming up a little more prominently. It was a really big part of the Tigers AFL Premiership just a couple of years ago. It's something that is very in vogue in the Frisbee community at the moment, and certain players don't really feel like they're needed, but certain players have found that it's changed their game entirely. Just the ability to be in your peak, playing at your potential as well as you possibly can every single time, it's invaluable. New South Wales looked a bit rattled, but they've come out with a hype now and they've gotten a little bit of performance out of their best players, and that's sort of gotten them on a bit of a run. Gotten them a bit of feet under themselves, and now they're all contributing, and now they're back in the driver's seat. This is where they know, and it's really the onus is on Victoria here. They cannot let this lead stretch out too much. If New South Wales gets in their comfort zone and operates the way they want it to, they'll run away with the game. So Victoria need to respond now.
Donahue with the pull.
And that's a brick. French will bring that disc in for Victoria. Face down this New South Wales defence.
Another match point by New South Wales. Neither team pulling out a zone so far. Really getting their players to grind, work hard on defence to start off with.
Wicks is looks to shoot here, doesn't take it. Goes in the centre, finds Miller. Miller goes wide. Taifa with the disc. Not a lot of options right now. Sees Miller coming back, goes high. Wicks with the read though. Wicks showing the patience of this team. He's got the throws and he's got that head fake called Vu for the hammer, and he's dropped it in on his head. Victoria respond. That's 3-all.
Coach has got to be happy with that. That's what they needed. That's what they wanted.
Yeah, Wicks definitely one of the strongest throwers, if not the strongest thrower on this Victorian team, and will really be quarterbacking this Victorian offense, and they'll look to him when they need to get it done. But great legs by Vu. Gained some separation to the break side from his defender, and that's what we needed from Victoria.
Yeah, I mean, Wicks looks absolutely in control when he has the disc, doesn't he? He just confidence all around. Break, hammers, over the top.
Yeah, it looks calm. He's playing through the ankle injury at the moment, and you know, if he can keep that up, keep that body strength up, and keep himself in the game, then Victoria really in with a shot here. But they're really got to get some breaks if they want to pull ahead. Trading's all well and good, and they've kept themselves in the game. They can keep that up, they'll keep themselves in the game, and their offense will give their defense a chance to get something done. But they've got to break this New South Wales offense again after their initial amazing performance. Honey with the disc in the centre. And here it is. This is a zone from Victoria. Noel to Honey. Honey wide to Mamutu. In the center there, and that is just in and out of the hands of Chen. He's been a good offensive player for them. There's a player free deep. Burchett picks it up quickly. Elects not to take the shot. Finds Bowie on the under. Back to Burchett. Burchett static with the disc. Shoots a hammer over the top. We've got a lot of this going around. And that is a goal for Victoria. Angus Higgins again taking those over the heads.
Interesting to see coming out with that zone look there. I think it's a really smart play by the coaches, getting them to play match defense right in the beginning, setting that intensity, really getting the players to work hard, and then switching into that zone, get them in the right headspace early.
Yeah, just when I think it's a really nice proactive change. The zone, typically something that is less threatening in stiller conditions like it is today, barely a breath of wind, but just changing the pace. New South Wales offense got rocked a little bit at the start, and then they got a couple, and then they might have felt good, but straight away they had to adjust, had to do something different, and Chen just coughed up a turn for them, and yet another hammer, and that's what we wanted. A Victorian break. So they're up 4-3. This is a game of swings so far, but it's a long way to go. New South Wales trotting out their offensive line again. Wicks with the pull. Fielded by Honey, up to Noel. Back to Honey. Victoria still in this zone again. New South Wales looking to respond here. Miller. Noel on the sideline. There's more players in the center here. Hasn't got a lot of options. Goes back to Miller. Miller doesn't take the swing. Goes back to Noel. Noel shoots a flick in the middle. Donahue the grab. Donahue flicks back the other way. Ash with the disc. Takes his time. Finds Donahue. Donahue leads Ash out in front, but he snatched at that too early. Couldn't make the left-handed grab.
They got to want that D now. Work really hard.
Wicks with the disc. Finds Miller on this close sideline. Miller, no options. Oh, and that's an incredible bid.
Absolutely incredible to see this one, especially as he unfortunately had to go to hospital with a interesting layout.
And that's a turn back the other way. Forsyth has just let it rip straight away. Noel's in the area, and he's secured that block. What a passage of play. Edison Wong coming through with a flying layout block. Saw that up the line cut coming, and then Noel giving it straight back, and then Forsyth returning the favour. So, New South Wales, like that little passage of play never happened. Honey across to Donahue. Donahue to Miller. Miller, Donahue. Donahue, no options, shoots the flick. Noel in the center, touches it, doesn't grab it. Honey's got it though. Honey finds Donahue in the center, he's got options deep, puts it up. Oh, and Edison Wong over the head, grab and toe. New South Wales stabilize. That's an offensive hold for them. They bring it to 4-4. Victoria up a break right now. Couple little scares in the middle, little bit of undisciplined play. Back and forth.
I mean, both of the teams are offering quite a quick pace of ultimate. It's interesting to see whether or not they'll just slow it down a little bit, get a bit more composure. I think a couple of the errors have come from moving it too quickly.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see the different styles of handling. We've seen when Vic has their offensive line piloted by Wicks. He's very calm with the disc and will wait for a long time before taking an option.
Exactly right.
For New South Wales, Honey often providing that calmness, but Noel, a little bit of a quicker trigger finger, able to get it going. And it'll be, if they keep lifting the pace, keep lifting the intensity, if both teams ratchet that up, it'll be the team with the better discipline and ability to slow it down that comes away.
Moss with the pull there.
Burchett in the centre for Vic here. New South Wales coming down with a zone of their own. And Victoria slow to respond. Hammer over the top. Higgins with a disc. Oh, and Higgins puts that one up. That's a floaty disc. Moss is in the area. Oh, and that's a contest. Rob couldn't get it over Moss, and he's slamming the ground.
You can tell he's hungry.
Sadiq with the disc here. Puts one out wide for Mamoutil. Oh, and he's dove through that one. There's differing opinions on the field about whether that went to the ground. He's got two hands to it, and then it's come under his stomach. Great response to go out wide. Look on the replay. It looks like he's caught it, and it looks like it's potentially come down if he's lost control of it and it's hit the ground underneath his stomach. Hard to see from here, though. Checking in with the game advisor's perspective. They'll offer rules clarification about what's going, and their third perspective is asked, but their perspective and ideas are absolutely non-binding. Final call coming from the players themselves. And it looks like that one's contested, so that just will go back to Sadiq. Bit of a get out of jail free for New South Wales there. It didn't look like it had a lot of options in the reset, and it'll be coming in stalling 3. Gotta find something here. Moss on the under. Great outlet from him. Elects not to shoot. Finds Mac coming wide. Mac to Mamoutil. Oh, shoots long. Oh, and he just can't make the grab. Jeffrey in and out of the hands.
Really looked like he possibly was thinking about what was going to happen after he caught the disc and didn't quite keep that focus on just making sure he caught it.
Yeah, getting a little bit ahead of himself, and that's generally the way drops are made. Just gotta focus in on that disc. Burchett. Goes wide. Burchett needs the 6-pack here. Victoria looking a bit weak. Oh, and that's Jeffrey making it up for a before. A hand block on the hammer there. And New South Wales on the end zone line.
Incredible reactivity there from Jeffrey.
Moss.
Set play here.
Mamoutil with a big first step. Hop and a jink and explodes to that cone. Beats his man. New South Wales. Break. 5-4. Both teams vying for the momentum here. Victoria get a break, New South Wales hold, and then they break back again. Victoria putting on a strong line. Burchett, Wicks, French, Forsyth. A lot of strong talent on this line.
Both teams, so I think, making very similar errors. I don't actually know if I personally would change much about how either teams are playing or their option taking. Just a couple of crucial execution errors, really. But both teams are doing it. So anyone's game still.
Yeah, Victoria not with a great response to the New South Wales zone that second time that it was put on. I think the key for them will be keeping the disc in the hands of one of their stronger throwers. Not letting someone to get trapped on the sideline. Of course, on the sideline with 4 players around you, it's really difficult to make a pass out of this situation, and that's exactly what New South Wales want.
Moss with the pull.
Wicks fielding, getting the disc back, working behind with Taifa. Finds Burchett. And looks like there's probably a bit of contact there. Wicks coming screaming in, trying to get a little dishy from Burchett. And they'll chat about what's happened.
In a zone, players are marking a area of the field rather than a specific player. But when a second player does enter within that 3 metres, the other players in the zone are allowed to drop in. Ideally without contact, though.
Ideally. Wicks with a disc here. A lot of pressure on this mark, so a lot of people in a small space. Wicks, shooting up the line. Burchett able to tow it. Burchett doesn't have a lot of options here. He's got Armstrong back. Takes the hammer over the top and just out of the hands of Forsyth.
Didn't look like he was expecting a hammer to come there.
No, you could see that Wicks had moved quite far, and Tyford had moved quite far out of the space. So some unusual handlers there. Moss with a disc. Floats one up and around. Noel here. Goes back to Moss. Moss to Sadiq. Sadiq to Richards. Richards on this far sideline. Doesn't have a lot of options. Elects not to take his reset backwards. Forces a reset up the line, and that's a turnover.
Incredible
a lot of pressure.
Defense, yeah.
A lot of pressure. Really, really, really forcing the disc to make hard decisions, and whenever it gets in the hands of maybe a slightly weaker thrower, really aren't able to get some off. That's probably why they're playing a lot of zone defense, if they don't believe in the abilities of some of the weaker players to execute difficult throws. So Wicks has the disc here. Goes wide to Forsyth. Forsyth in the middle to Miller. Miller back to Forsyth. Forsyth back to Burchett. Burchett on the sideline. Again with that big zone around him. Edison Wong playing an assassination here. He's guarding Wicks one-on-one. Burchett goes over the top. Bit of confusion there, but it's still reeled in. Armstrong with the disc. Kiefer just out front of the end zone here. They need the patience. Have gone backwards. Burchett with the long arms. New South Wales look like they're transitioning their defense here. Wicks has walked all the way back to halfway, and the hammer over the top.
Oh, that's a grab. Oh, having a chat.
Chat about what's going on. It's interesting defense here. It's gone up. A lot of people there. Can't see on the camera. It's behind Moss's body, but he's questioning whether or not he had control over the disc, whether he'd stopped the rotation and held it in his hand. And they'll clarify what needs to happen, and the call is down. They'll chat about it, and that's uncontested, so that'll be a turnover. And that'll be New South Wales disc. Around to Noel. Pops it out of the end zone for no real reason. Finds Edison Wong. Oh, and tries to flip a quick backhand, but Wicks is there. Wicks puts up a high flick. He's got 2 receivers in the area. And Forsyth takes that one in.
That's exactly what Victoria needed to do in that situation. As soon as they got that quick hand block, turn and respond immediately so that New South Wales did not have a chance to flip that switch and go from offense to defense.
Yeah, so great work by them. You could see that New South Wales was playing quite an aggressive defensive setup. They were running a zone, but with one of the players taken out to one-on-one guard Wicks. I think they can take him entirely out of the play. They'll force other players to have to make the difficult throws that he's been doing with aplomb so far.
I mean, it is interesting. I think the identification of Wicks as really the driver of their offense is exactly what New South Wales needed to do, but we haven't really seen any New South Wales player really be able to stop him getting off any of the throws that he's been getting off so far.
Yeah, Edison Wong is one of the better defenders on this New South Wales side, and he was one-on-one matched up against Wicks, and Wicks took himself out of the play and was over there, and it forced Burchett to make that difficult throw, which ended up being a turnover. Wicks has thrown hammers like that for goals before, so even moving it into the hands of their second best thrower is maybe just going to be enough. So it looks like Victoria coming down in a zone of their own here.
Maybe a bit of an arrowhead zone.
And a bit of 3-3-1.
Stopping those long shots.
Noel with the disc goes back around to Honey. Honey back to Noel. Really going to get a lot of touches though too behind the disc. Noel floats one up and Donahue takes it with his length on the sideline. Shoots across the middle and Honey slowed down half second, need to accelerate and get that with two hands. Not a bad option from Donahue.
No, I really liked that option. Would have opened up such a huge area of the field for them if they could have got it off.
Yeah. Vu with the disc goes around to Forsyth. Forsyth again. Higgins on the under here. Finds Bowie on the sideline. Mamutil guarding Forsyth on that up line. A lot of pressure here. Vu manages to get open. And there's a call. That's a stall called by Donahue. And they'll discuss whether or not the disc was out of his hands before the mark reached 10. Of course, Donahue only has to reach the T of 10. And chat with the players around him, and that'll be uncontested. So that'll be a turnover, exactly where it is. In the most technical interpretation of the rules, Donahue is supposed to touch. It is also a stoppage. And the disc is now in. That's a turnover. That is New South Wales disc. And there's a bit of time before they're all collecting themselves as Honey picks up the disc and elects not to take the long shot. Finds Noel in the center here. Victoria out of the zone, hearing calls from the sideline to set. New South Wales comfortable moving around. Noel with the disc. Finds Donahue in the center. Donahue, that spicy flick again. Finds Ashley. Oh, and he's flipped that up in front. Oh, and Miller with the pace.
Great hands there by Miller. That disc was slightly sliding away from him as well, so he had to really extend to catch that trailing edge of the disc.
Yeah, Pastar's there trying to flip it in for a goal, and bit of hesitation, bit of rush there. Wasn't perfect, but Miller making up for it. Nice length, nice speed. And that's 6-5. This is a very, very close game, and it doesn't look like any team is able to get in their groove and run away with it. It's exactly what we expect from a final. The best players doing everything they can. We're seeing a lot of disc being run through the stars of each line because the defense is so tight and so intense that it's very, very difficult to get open, to be getting off the throws that you want.
And this might be where New South Wales could pick Victoria. They have a much deeper team, so some of their key players are just going to get more subs than what Victoria's key players are going to get. See if a bit of fresh legs will help them.
Yeah, absolutely. New South Wales was quite athletic, competent, good fundamentals defenders up and down the roster, really making it hard and putting a really high workload on these Victorian offensive players. Burchett in the centre here. Burchett off the hands of Armstrong, and this is what we were talking about. And they'll talk about it, about what's happened. And they've waited a little bit till everyone's run away to vocalise that call, but looks like there's an uncontested foul.
Yeah, Gregory might have had a little bit of contact there coming through.
And the disc will come in on 0 with Armstrong. Victoria retain. Resets to Burchett. Got a player going long. Doesn't take the option here. Burchett, a very crafty thrower. Doesn't really want to huck it too much. Goes wide to Wicks. Wicks has got to play along and he shoots. Miller's in a paddock. Takes his time here. Flips that one out in front, and that's all too easy for James French. Good response. A little bit of a scare there on that first cut, but Victoria maintaining their composure and closing out.
Once again, Angus Wicks absolutely instrumental in that point there for Victoria. Going to be interesting to see what New South Wales do to try and shut him down. He's been really throwing up a storm.
Yeah, they've tried a couple of different things. A zone, an assassin zone. The assassin zone was reasonably effective. It'll be interesting to see if New South Wales goes back to that. Took him out of the game, but Victoria was able to be reasonably competent, move the disc around and get some stuff done. And then there was a couple of quick turns, the defense fell apart and he picked it up and threw the goal straight away. It's Victorian defense though, if they really want to stretch out the score, really separate themselves.
We'll see what they do here. They've played a Pommy zone, they've played an Arrowhead zone. Also shown that they've done really well with match, so all three in option, I'd say, right now.
Absolutely. It's just going to be fine-tuning and see if they've got any little adjustments they can make.
Big pull chase down by Victoria.
Mamuto with a disc here. Victoria coming down in a zone, finds Noel. Noel telling his players what to do, giving him a good point. Goes wide to Honey. Honey, the picture of patience. Finds Noel wide. Back to Honey. Really just playing piggy in the middle of Mamutil now. He's very open. Back to Miller, back to Honey. New South Wales slowly advancing. Finds Noel. Now Mamutil gets in on the action. Goes to Noel. New South Wales pushing the pace. Miller in the center. Oh, and he floats out in front. Mamutil with a disc. And again to Donahue. Takes his time. Great patience here. Oh, and Miller with a grab.
Wow.
That's great work by Miller. You could see Honey was just behind him, ready for the easy grab, but hey, an outstretched hand, toes down, that's a goal. And that's 7-6 New South Wales. That's just an offensive hold for them.
Have to give him props. It is incredibly hard to extend your body from a stationary position. Difficult to get those muscles firing to get that explosive movement out, but reflexes helped him out there. Absolutely cracker of a catch.
Very, very close game.
New South Wales did really well in that last point. There was a couple of times they, on the sideline, held the disc for getting close up to that sort of 5 or so seconds, but they never really let the zone get them trapped. And that quick movement is really what helped them out, really got them that point there. Defense, once they were on the back foot, weren't quick enough to get back on it, build that pressure again.
Absolutely, and that's the major trade-off of a zone defense. You put a lot of players around the frisbee, you can generate some serious pressure on that thrower, make it really hard for them to break it out and move the disc, but once you're able to shoot it through that gap and get it into the open space in the middle of the field, you're really at a numbers advantage there. There's a lot of space, a lot of movement around, and Noel did a really great job of bouncing it off to Mamutil and then shooting into middle, find Donahue, and then they're off to the races.
Another huge strength, which I think New South Wales really used there, was the throwing ability across their team. Once they get it to one of their downfield players, all of them were making smart decisions. Greatly executed throws as well.
Victoria on offense here. Wicks with the disc. Goes to Burchett, and that one's too wide. Too long looking, little too zippy. And this is what we're talking about, putting a lot of pressure on those key connections of Victoria.
New South Wales now with a chance to take half.
Absolutely. This would be breaking to take half. 8-6. It's absolutely key work. Noel with the disc. Doesn't have any good options at the moment. Takes his time, floats it up, and that's a goal. New South Wales break to go up 8-6 going into half. That is a heartbreaker for Victoria. They've not responded well there. A bit too much calm. Not the kind of focus and intensity that they were looking for coming into that point.
I mean, incredibly easy there for New South Wales. When you get a turn like that, when you're only having to work not even a metre from the end zone,
Yeah.
it's a big ask for Victoria to try and stop them from scoring.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeremy Chalk screaming in with a goal there. Well-placed disc by Lucien Noel. But Victoria unable to keep working through that New South Wales defence, forcing a lot of resets between Wicks and Burchett, and just one of them going awry, leading to a break and a 2-point lead for New South Wales going into the half. And with that, we'll take a 4-minute break, and we'll be back with second half action shortly. And as is tradition, we're coming in here for the women's duelio. At halftime in the men's finals, we have a barefoot, no socks, no shoes, straight line race.
Great representation, all states here. Off they go.
A lot of pace. Oh. Queensland Victoria screaming out in front. There's just not much separating them there. That is
Who we got?
too close.
Oh, Queensland just pipped it there.
Incredible. Great displays of athleticism. Unsurprising, given the great showcase of talent that we've seen throughout this tournament so far. We'll be back with some actual Frisbee in about 2 minutes.
Back after half here. Currently got New South Wales up over Victoria, 8-6. Coming out on D though.
Yeah, this is a crucial opportunity for Victoria to maintain their offensive consistency. They just got broken going into half, and that's what's led to this 2-point New South Wales lead, equaling our biggest lead of the game. So Victoria need to stabilise, need to put this one in, and then get back on D and start generating some breaks.
Moss with the pull.
It's a bit low, but it'll go the distance. Fielded by Wicks. Shoots inside, finds Vu. He's got a man going long, and the shot goes up. French is underneath it. He's collected it at about a metre out of the end zone. He's got a streaming player. Great adaptive defense by New South Wales. He's looking around, the shot goes up. He's been yelled at by his players, and he's just given away a possession like that. The disc there has to be reset. New South Wales. Opportunity here, Sadiq with the disc. Goes wide, finds Moss. Finds Chen. Chen elects not to shoot. Well guarded in the dump space. Goes in the middle, finds Chen. Jeffries with the disc here. Jeffries hassled on the mark. Burchett in and amongst his face. And Burchett generates a block. French off to the races. Wicks with the disc. Big fake from Wicks. Oh, Burchett. Left-handed grab behind his back. Got a bit of time. Finds Vu. Vu out to Wicks. And there's a pick goal. Burchett generating a block out of nothing. He's identified Jeffries as maybe not the strongest thrower here and just got all up in his grill. Invited himself to the barbecue and found himself a block. And the disc will go back to Burchett.
Of course, a pick here, similar to a shepherd in AFL. If a defensive player is obstructed from following the offensive player by either team, by their own team or by their opposition, they're allowed to call a pick.
Burchett looking to stabilise the offense here. Puts it out wide, finds Wicks. Wicks has got a player deep, and he puts up the backhand of the break side. There's a bit of a pack grab there. Oh, and Higgins can't get it. It's driving over his back there, and Sadiq gets enough hands in there to turn that into a turnover. Brings the disc up to the line. Goes to Faulkner. Faulkner's got a man deep. Doesn't take it. Goes back to Moss. Moss doesn't like to swing the disc. He's got Sadiq gone up the line here. Puts it out in front of him. He's got a player go deep. Takes the backhand and he floats that one out. There's a lot of players in the area. Higgins, Wicks, Faulkner underneath it, and Higgins with a big tap on that. And the flex to let him know. Victoria back on offense here. Looking to stabilise. This has not been a clean offensive point for them, but if they can put it on the board, that'll be enough.
Vu absolutely covered there by New South Wales defender.
And a miscue between Typhoon and Burchett. An easy smackdown block, and New South Wales with half the field to go. Moss will bring it in here. Moss finds Faulkner, unguarded on the open side. Faulkner looks at the hammer, thinks the better of it. Goes nice and wide. Sadiq open at the top of the stack there. Fakes out his player, goes back to Faulkner. Faulkner looks at Moss, elects not. Wicks on the mark here, getting crazy. Oh, and that's just out of the hands. Gregory can't close his hands around that one. Can't turn that into a goal. Good opportunities, good attacking play from New South Wales here. Really nice to see this fundamental offense dumping it from the sideline into the middle of the field, looking for swings. Just a little too much squeeze.
See what happens here with Victoria on offense. Look for that deep again.
And the shot goes up. Vu is underneath it. Defenders are in the area, but Vu's got the pace out in front. And he's gone up and tipped that. And
There'll be a call.
that's an uncontested foul. Looked like there was a discussion about whether it was contact in the back of the legs as he was trying to go up for it. And draw uncontesting that one. That'll be Vu's disc at the front of the end zone. Victoria with an opportunity to finally put in this goal here. Showing decent urgency, but it's got to be patience. And that is a nice long jump from Higgins. He's caught that in the air, landed in the goal there. So Victoria, far from clean, far from clinical, but a point nonetheless.
Great to see Victoria with some composure out the front of the end zone there. Earlier at that point, we had a huge long shot go up and they weren't able to convert it. Didn't reset the disc. This time, learnt from previous mistakes, reset the disc and were able to get the goal.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have seen Vu gone straight back to a handler for a swing, but at least he was looking backwards at his options rather than staring into the end zone waiting for something to materialize. And this is it. This is where Victoria need to perform. It's 8-7. They're down one break. Opportunities like this don't come very often. They're going to trot out there. They're giving some of their key players a rest, which makes sense given the difficulty of holding that offensive point, but got enough firepower to put this one in if they can get the disc back of New South Wales, who are stacking their offensive line. They've pulled Mamatil across from their D-line onto their offensive line, so they have incredibly strong throwers across the board. And they'll look to put this one in no trouble.
Burchett with the pull.
Fielded by Honey. Noel in the center here, unbothered. Back to Honey. Honey, wide to Mamutul. Attacks the space. Mamutul, no options. Goes to Honey. New South Wales moving towards the sideline, but able to break. Noel taking it. Oh, he's popped that one up, but he knows he's got Donahue, who is a long boy.
Getting huge.
Goes back across to Noel. He's got Honey on the line, but Noel sends it long. He's got Miller underneath. Oh, but Chet with the tip. And that's what we came to talk about. Just enough firepower. The right man in the right location can make all the difference. And Burchett, with a whisker of a touch on that, has given Victoria an opportunity to break to even the scores here. Burchett getting the block, bringing the disc in.
No options as of yet.
Yeah. Very tight defense, and that's a late shot goes up from Burchett, but no one is there in time.
That's what you need to do, though, when there's no options. Get the disc as far away from your defending end zone as you possibly can.
Yeah, decent run from Patterson, but just unable to generate off those primary looks. And Donahue flicking it out to the sideline. Wong's there. He's a pace. Oh, and Mamutul. Whoa. Forsyth had a sniff, could see that one, but that's a goal for New South Wales. Victoria unable to capitalize on an opportunity there, but I think they'll be happy that they were able to even just get a block. If they're able to throw a spanner in the works of this New South Wales offense, you know, that's a little victory.
We'll see what kind of line Victoria put up now. Looks to be their big throwing line. They've got a lot of their deep options as well coming back on. Oh, and there's a timeout.
All right. We'll see where they gather themselves. They'll have a chat about it, and I think this is definitely to New South Wales' advantage. Victoria might want to collect themselves and assess what they can do here because they're really on the back foot. If they keep trading like this, it'll be a 1-point victory from New South Wales, and You know, like some of the mind's greatest thinkers have said, winning by an inch or winning by a mile, winning's winning. And New South Wales feel good, feel confident, feel like they're in the driver's seat. This is where they used to have been. We were talking about this before. They've been dominant throughout this tournament.
At some point, Victoria are going to have to pick a time to really try to drive for that break. I mean, we saw last time they gave some of those key players a bit of a rest. And I mean, they were able to defensively create a turn, but very few options for them there. So they're going to need to start stacking those defensive lines eventually, because no break, no win.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that they'll be happy with their ability to get a block without their key players, and that bodes well for future. If they get their key players on their defensive line, they'll still be able to get that block, but then maybe they'll have the firepower, like you're saying.
Exactly right.
They'll be able to get it done. I think it's just a matter of timing at this point. They've still got a bit of time. There's still a lot of points left in this game. Maybe if we see them with a nice, clean, real quick hold, one that's not too demanding on their star players, then we'll see them call a timeout, stack a line, and go and make the break happen. New South Wales sticking with a pretty standard defensive line for them.
Not a lot of height compared to the offensive line that Victoria is bringing. I mean, we've really seen Victoria's look as that deep shot. So we'll see what New South Wales can do with that, if they can threaten any of those aerial contests deep.
Absolutely. Got a couple players that can play tall, and they're really going to need to. That is a beautiful pull from Moss.
Huge run down there on D.
Hyphen. Ooh, Faulkner threatening those blocks there. Wicks with the disc. No one to throw to at the moment. Oh, leads his player out in front. And again, Vu with a disc. No options. Floats one up. Wicks takes it under incredible pressure. Great patience. Holding onto the disc here. Floats one over. He's got French in the end zone. And that's good height. That's good aggression. And he's taken that grab. That's what they needed to do. Hold an offensive point like that. All right. It's another opportunity for a break. New South Wales putting on a lot of pressure there. Faulkner in particular, real couple sniffs at it, really doing a great job of harassing Wicks, not letting him comfortably get the disc, making him work for it.
I definitely think this is one of the first points from Victoria where they've had to move it through the middle of the field before they could get that long shot off. Wicks usually only needing one or two sort of passes before he looks for that deep, and New South Wales did a fantastic job of shutting down those options and forcing them to play a bit more short ball.
Nice loopy flick to finish off though. It's a nice kind of placement. He had a player screaming at him, coming under trying to get that, but placed it out in front of James French, and he was just too big for his defensive player to get around.
Great vision as well from Wicks when you've got a player coming straight directly at you, to be able to see player free in the back of the end zone, ignore the player in front. Great concentration.
Ripper of a pull from Burchett, screaming up the center of the field. Goes to ground before Honey's there, and the defense is there. And this is what we're looking for. Nice intensity here. Miller takes the grab under pressure on the sideline. Still trapped there, though, and the zone is set around him. Great break back to Honey. New South Wales still under a bit of pressure here, though. Nice around from Honey. Finds Miller. Miller shoots through the center. Finds Noel. Noel on the ground. Finds Mamutil. Goes to Honey. Honey patient with the disc. Finds Donahue. Donahue back to Mamutil. Mamutil, no immediate options. Goes through the center to Donahue. He's always available, and those holes are just way too open. Honey to Mamutil. Back to Honey. Threatening again. Flips it over the top to Donahue. He was just way too available, and he flips it to Honey. Incredible work by New South Wales, looking never bothered. Landed right in the corner. The zone had him trapped. Miller was under a lot of pressure. He broke it out to Noel, and Then they went to the far side of the field and were off to the races. So great response from New South Wales.
Super patient. Took all the right options, I'd say. Really had to make Victoria work for it. And if they can keep that up, keep Victoria needing to bust their guts at every single defensive point, might be what makes them tired, poor decisions on offense. You never know.
Interesting to see that we didn't see them pull any of their star offensive players there onto that D line to try and make something happen there. I think they're still trying to rely on that zone, getting a couple of blocks. Burchett coming across to play offense back to back. Be interesting to see what their defense looks like if they're able to hold here. Standard defensive line from New South Wales.
Moss with the pull.
He's really refined these, and they are punishing, dropping right at the centre back of the end zone. Burchett to Rob. Rob back to Burchett. He's got French gone deep and elects not to shoot. Still no options from Burchett. Takes the long shot. He's got Wicks and French in the area. Wicks collects that. He's standing on the end zone line, so he's not quite in yet. Oh, and he flips that. The no look. And Higgins takes the goal. All right. And they're trading. This has just been all offensive holds late in this game. They're cruising in. It's 10-9. New South Wales only up by one. They're just up one break. So Victoria, they need to do something.
I mean, New South Wales seemed to do it all right there. Wicks was forced to have to make that huge cut downfield. Burchett, though, shows he's got the throws. Absolutely nailed that crossfield. Working about sort of 30, 40 metre pass as well. Great accuracy over a long range.
Yeah, Sadiq was in the area guarding his player, but Wicks too good there. French out the back, just too many for him to cover. And so we see a pretty strong line. Couple of people coming across here. No Wicks, no Vu. Oh, my apologies. Vu is right there. But no Wicks on this line. So they'll be relying on some of their other handlers like Burchett to push this disc after a turn. Burchett with the pull. Both teams really finding out what's good here, and that's nearly perfect. Honey at the back of the end zone, and the marks there. But no one's on Mamutul so far. Donahue with the disc. Donahue leads Mamutul, catches under pressure. Mamutul goes back to Honey. They're in a match now. They've gone away from the zone defense, but they found Mamutul. Puts it out to Miller out in front. No options deep, but plenty of resets. Honey, patient with the disc. Doesn't find Noel. Puts it out in front. Noel comes back for it. He's got Donahue gone long, and he takes the shot late, but it's a bit wobbly. Oh, and Donahue with the length to come under for it. Puts it out in front. Noel with a grab in front of you, and finds Pastars on the front cone. Burchett got caught watching for half a second. And that's New South Wales up to 11.
Look, I feel for Victoria there. I think I can see what they were doing. They were trying to adjust right at the beginning there, sort of do a bit of a poach, have a player covering that deep space so that they didn't immediately threaten with a long shot. But with how good that pull was, it meant that there was a player unmarked right at the front. If they had had that player up the front and really kept that pressure on, tight match defense, then who knows what would have happened.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see them just crunch there. With Honey with the disc, he's a capable and reliable handler, but right at the back of the end zone, there's just not a lot of space to move, and that would have been a golden opportunity for Vic to put the clamps on. You know, get a Callahan. That would have swung the momentum of the game.
And it's amazing as well. There's just something about playing defense when they're really deep in their own end zone and you want that Callahan. Something just switches in players and they get really, really, really hungry for it. So golden opportunity missed there, but we'll see what they can do to respond.
Burchett running a triple shift here. Coming back for this offensive line for Victoria. And it's
Another great pull by Moss.
Feifel taking his time to field it.
Fantastic speed by Chaw there, getting down on the mark.
Wicks finds Burchett in the middle. That's time cap gone during this point. We'll finish this point, add one to the highest score, and then play to that. Wicks shoots in the middle, finds Miller. Miller finds Wicks. Wicks shoots high, he's got Burchett, and it's floating. Oh, and Burchett with the grab. That's a goal for Victoria. Exactly what they needed, when they needed.
There was a bit of nonchalance air to that. Burchett just cool as a cucumber. Had it all day.
Yeah, maybe a bit too much float from Wicks, but too good from Burchett. So now the hand has been really forced. We were hoping that Victoria would stack a line and put all their eggs in one basket, get a break earlier. But now the time cap's gone and it's officially a game to 12. This is game point New South Wales. And it has to be now.
There's no other time for it. If they want it, they're going to have to stack this line, I think.
Yeah, and they've pulled Wicks across. They got Wicks, Burchett, French, Vu. All the top players on this line. So, really,
they've got it. They've got a good. They've got their defensive, block generators there as well. So I think they've got all the tools that they need to be able to generate a turn. And then with the addition of Wicks, might have some of that offensive power that they need to be able to even it up.
it's got to be do or die now. I really would have liked to have seen them have attempted this earlier so that it wasn't so all or nothing.
I agree. A lot of pressure for this line right now.
Let's see if we can get it. That's a ripper pull from Wicks. A lot of hang time, maybe not so much distance. Collected by Noel. And they've come down in this one-on-one match defense. Wicks taking the Donahue matchup. Donahue holsters the throw. Goes around, finds Mumutu. Looks at Honey. Goes wide. Sees Noel. Noel holsters. Victoria working hard, but New South Wales able to get open. Mumutu with a disc on the close sideline. Noel fighting his way to get up line. Honey resets the discs. Takes a bit of bump from Burchett. Keeps playing. Noel on this close sideline. Tightly guarded by Vu. Goes wide around again to Burchett. Burchett covers the swing. Honey takes the late around. Goes wide around to Noel. Noel 5 meters out from a gold medal right now. Looking patient, looking controlled. Not got reset option. Floats one over the top. And that's a turnover for New South Wales. Victoria with a chance.
Exactly what Victoria needed in this point. We'll see. Do they have it in them to put it in?
Yeah, maybe 1 to 2 seconds. Too much looking. And there's an injury called. Victoria needing a substitution. Bringing on Max Miller. And the disc has come back in for Victoria. Wicks with a disc. Finds Vu. Vu's got Burchett and he shoots long. And it's just outside of his range. It's come down to the ground. And that is not what they wanted to do. Vu has been an ever-reliable cutter for them. He's just
moved it a bit too quickly, I think. Didn't let himself get set.
really just wanted to get it done there and didn't want to take the... Probably didn't think about it. Bit of rush of blood.
Saw the play going deep. Thought, need to get this as far as I can. Used a bit too much shoulder, I think. Didn't snap the wrist enough. Disc immediately turned over. Let's see what Honey can do.
Vu back on defense here, guarding Noel. Noel with a reset. Doesn't pass it to Donahue. Goes back to Honey. Honey, patient as. Looking for a break. Doesn't get it. Goes high and wide. Finds Faulkner. Guarded by Forsyth. A lot of pressure on this disc here. Mamutul coming on the open side. He's looked off again. Honey under a lot of pressure. New South Wales going backwards into their own end zone. And Noel, the ever-present reset, goes up line, and there's a fall there from New South Wales. Victoria with an even better opportunity. They won't be able to give this one away. They need to force a universe point here. Wicks with a disc. This is where they want it. He's got French going in the end zone. Big high shot coming. He's backed in the tall man. And French backing up, takes the grab under pressure. Wicks with the sky ball. French with the hands.
We have a universe point game here, folks.
This is a ripper of a game. This has been the closest game in the men's division that we've seen so far. Victoria has come to play today. Critical errors from New South Wales late down the stretch. Some of their best players have just slipped, and they've given Victoria just a couple too many opportunities. And this is it. New South Wales coming out on offense, universe point, gold medal on the line.
We'll have to see. Victoria really had to stack that line to be able to get the universe point. Are they going to have to play the exact same line again? I don't see much of a change.
Absolutely not. It's one more point.
Got to grind it out.
Yeah, it has to be now. It has to be now. They can rest when they're home. Wicks, Burchett, Forsyth, French, Armstrong, Miller getting a run for Victoria. Mamutul, Noel, Honey, Donahue, Moss, Faulkner, and Miller getting a run for New South Wales.
I don't think New South Wales changed their line either.
This is the best of the best. There's U-line for both of them. New South Wales coming out on O-line. Honey with the pull reception. Finds Noel. Back to Honey. Taking his time. Goes wide. Sees Donahue. Donahue with the options. Travel called. Going back. Finds Miller. Under pressure there. Miller fakes the big shot. Fakes the big shot again. He's got nothing. Wicks guarding the reset there. Goes wide. Noel with the low grab. Wide again. Donahue under pressure from Burchett. Noel calling for it up the line. Goes back to Moss in the center of the field. Donahue's taken off deep. Moss has got the options. Takes the safe one to Noel. Noel floats it up. That's a high ball. And Faulkner with the grab in traffic.
This is it.
New South Wales trapped on the sideline. Lot of Victorian presence. Doesn't take the reset to the center. He's trapped. Goes back to Honey. Honey floats it over the top, but he's got Miller in the area.
Oh.
Burchett breaks up the play. And there's a foul called there. Very tight contest. Very believable. There'll be a bit of contact going on there.
New South Wales absolutely knocking down that door. Not even allowing Victoria.
They're getting a bit of end zone eyes here. See Faulkner taking that amazing grab under pressure, getting back to Honey, and Honey looking straight back to that contested corner. Would have liked to have seen a big swing, a big break, but they'll have a chat about it now. Let's see what we can see. It's definitely close. Looks like on the discussion there, that'll be an uncontested foul. So that will be New South Wales disc with Miller at the front of the end zone. He'll check the disc in here. And then they'll walk to the front. Check the disc in where the foul occurred, then everyone can move, and then walk to the front. So New South Wales disc, gold medal on the line. I want to see this patience from these young athletes. Mamutul tries to get open. Miller resets to Honey, always available there. Honey looks for the goal. He's got to look for this swing. Puts up the line to Donahue, collects it after the tip from French. Donahue shoots to a turning. Honey stretches a hand out. Faulkner was there, but he can't make the grab, and that's a Victorian disc. Victoria with a chance for a shocker upset here. Wicks bringing the disc up. Calm as you like. Vu's taken off deep. Wicks elects not to shoot. Contested dump here. Forsyth grabs it going up line. Guarded by Moss. He's got Armstrong in the deep space. Noel with a block coming in on the sideline. Incredible dive by Noel. He's seen that play come up.
Absolutely clutch block there. That didn't happen. Victoria could have got that gold medal for them.
Vu and Donahue, they can respect that. Honey will pick up the disc for New South Wales at about half field. Donahue working for the under. Honey looking for the around. Pops it up. Noel always there. Noel goes around again. Bit of height on this one. Miller with the grab after the tip by French. Miller back into the center. Noel with the disc. Noel, the late swing. Wicks with the dive, but Faulkner with the second effort. Faulkner pops that one up. Donahue can't tow it in. Slightly tailing out of the field from Faulkner, and Donahue can't save the grab. Amazing bids, amazing blocks from both sides. Second effort grabs are going to define this universe point. It's been scrappy, it's been hard work. And we're not done yet. Wicks, guarded by Faulkner, brings the disc in on the far sideline. Vu's gone deep, guarded by Donahue's up. He's got the position, and he takes the grab. Ooh. Puts it down with a second effort. That's good awareness. We've seen far too many of those caught so far this game. Honey picks up the frisbee. He's got Donahue in the open lane. He's not open. He's floated that one out. French has taken the grab. Looks to reset back to Wicks. Wicks on the close sideline, guarded by Faulkner. Burchett coming in the open lane.
Oh, huge layout D there by Donahue.
He's read it. He's gone. He was riding on the back hip of Burchett. He knew that was coming. New South Wales with yet another chance. Honey picking up the disc here. Donahue's gone long. Goes wide to Moss. Moss doesn't find Noel. Moss goes back to Honey. He's got Donahue in the open lane. Got Noel in the open lane with the disc. New South Wales players off the back of the stack. Noel over the right shoulder to Faulkner. Faulkner looking into the center of the field. Fakes the hammer. He's got Noel. This is a tight space. Vu's guarding him well. He's gone backwards. Honey with the disc here, guarded by Armstrong. Honey to the open lane to Noel, and there's been a pick. Coaches urging calm from the sideline. There's been a lot of turns. There's been a lot of red zone hungry play.
Both teams showing how much they want this game.
Honey to Noel. Noel looks off the very open. Miller floats it up for his man Donahue. Donahue takes the grab, flips it into Faulkner for the gold medal. New South Wales are the Australian youth champions for 2019 after a scrappy universe point game. Victoria brought the fight to them, and New South Wales outlasted.
Incredible game there. Feats of athleticism.
The future is bright. Stars coming out to shine in the final here today. A lot of these players will go on to represent Australia with the under-20 team at Oceanic and then at World Championships. They put their heart on the line and they have shown everything they have. This has been an incredible game and we have been proud to bring it to you. Thank you for tuning in to the Australian Youth Ultimate Championships 2019. I've been your commentator, Rob Swan, joined by Emma Beresford. Thank you so much.
AYUC2019.TV.